I ate only street food for 24 hours. Chaos in Kuala Lumpur. 24 hours. One city. 0 restaurant meals. And by hour 18, I genuinely thought I had made the worst decision of my life. But wait. Before we begin, please subscribe to ensure that you never miss out on any of my essential stuff. Comment "I subscribe" below, and I will personally welcome you to our community. With that said, let's get started. Kuala Lumpur is one of the most food-obsessed cities on the planet. And I don't mean that lightly. According to a 2023 report by the World Street Food Congress, KL ranks in the top 5 cities globally for street food density, with over 10,000 registered street food vendors operating across the city at any given time. 10,000. That's not a food scene. That's a food universe. So when I decided to spend a full 24 hours eating nothing but street food here, I thought, how hard could it be? Spoiler, very hard. But also incredible. And a little bit dangerous. Let me take you through every single hour. It starts at 6 a.m. The city is barely awake, but the streets of Jalan Alor and Chow Kit are already alive. Steam rising from giant pots. The sharp smell of lemongrass hitting you before you even turn the corner. My first meal of the day, Nasi Lemak from an old uncle who's been running the same roadside stall for 31 years. His name is Uncle Ramu. He told me he wakes up at 3 in the morning every single day to cook his sambal from scratch. 31 years. Same recipe. Same fire. I took one bite of that coconut rice wrapped in banana leaf, and I genuinely had to stop and just sit with it for a second. This was not food. This was a memory I hadn't made yet. But here's what no one tells you about eating street food for an entire day in a tropical city. The heat is your first enemy. By 8 a.m., the temperature in KL had already climbed to 33 degrees Celsius. And when you're eating spicy, oily, heavy food in that kind of heat, your body starts sending you signals pretty fast. By 9 a.m., I was already sweating through my second meal, Char Kway Teow from a woman named Aunty Lily at a morning market in Pudu. Aunty Lily is 62 years old, and she's been wok frying this dish since she was 19. She learned from her mother, who learned from her mother. 3 generations of the same smoky, dark soy, prawn-loaded noodle dish. A 2022 study published in the Journal of Ethnic Foods found that traditional wok cooking techniques, particularly high-heat frying called wok hay, preserve more antioxidants in vegetables than conventional cooking methods. So yes, street food can actually be nutritionally complex. But there's a flip side to this, and I'm getting to it. Because by 11 a.m., something shifted. I had eaten 2 heavy meals in under 5 hours. The humidity was suffocating. And I started to feel it, that low-level nausea that comes when your digestive system says, okay, slow down. I ignored it. Big mistake. Midday in KL is not for the weak. The streets between Petaling Street and Central Market turn into a sensory overload. The sound of sizzling, the clatter of metal woks, vendors shouting prices, tourists bumping into locals, motorbikes threading through crowds. I found myself standing in front of a satay stall with skewers of chicken and beef grilling over charcoal, the smoke thick enough to taste. The vendor, a young guy named Hafiz, 26 years old, had left an engineering degree to take over his father's stall. He said, "My father built something real. What was I going to build in an office? I bought 10 skewers. I regret nothing. But I want to be real with you. By this point, I had consumed somewhere around 1,800 calories before 1 p.m. And I still had 13 hours to go. Now, if you're thinking about doing something like this yourself, and honestly, you should because KL street food is life-changing, here's a practical tip that would have saved me a lot of discomfort. Pace yourself with hydration. A 2021 study by the National University of Malaysia found that tourists in KL underestimate fluid loss by up to 40% due to the combination of heat and spicy food consumption. Coconut water, which you can find at literally every corner for about 3 ringgit, is one of the best natural electrolyte drinks on earth. I learned this at hour 14. I should have learned it at hour 1. By 3 p.m., I hit a wall. Not metaphorically, I actually sat down on a curb near Masjid India and just stared at a Rojak stall for about 10 minutes without ordering anything. Rojak, for those who don't know, is a Malaysian fruit and vegetable salad drenched in a thick, pungent shrimp paste sauce. It sounds bizarre. It is bizarre. And it is absolutely one of the greatest things I have ever put in my mouth. The vendor, an elderly woman named Max Sikros, watched me hesitate and just smiled and handed me a small cup to try for free. "You look like you need it," she said. She was not wrong. That single act of kindness from a stranger on a street in Kuala Lumpur, that's the thing about street food culture that no food critic ever really captures. It's not just about the food. It's about the people behind it. Now I have to tell you about hour 18. Because this is where things got genuinely chaotic. I had just finished a bowl of Assam laksa, a sour, tamarind-based fish noodle soup from a night market stall in Bangsar, when my stomach made a sound that I can only describe as a warning siren. The combination of 12 hours of spicy, oily, high-sodium street food, insufficient hydration, and tropical heat had finally caught up with me. I won't give you the graphic details, but I will say this. I spent about 20 minutes in a public restroom near the market reconsidering all of my life choices. And here's the thing that surprised me most. When I came out, I felt fine. Not just okay, genuinely fine. Because street food in KL, when made by people who have been cooking it for decades, is prepared with ingredients that have natural digestive properties. Lemongrass, turmeric, ginger, tamarind. These aren't just flavor. A 2020 meta-analysis in the journal Food Chemistry confirmed that traditional Southeast Asian spice profiles, particularly those heavy in curcumin and gingerol, actively support gut microbiome health. My gut had essentially reset itself using the very food that had pushed it to its limit. I found that poetic. By 10 p.m., the night markets were in full swing. If daytime KL street food is a conversation, nighttime is a concert. Lights everywhere. The smell of durian. Yes, I ate the durian, and yes, it smells exactly like what everyone says: grilled corn slathered in butter and chili, fried banana fritters called pisang goreng, and the most beautiful bowl of Cendol I have ever seen, shaved ice with coconut milk, palm sugar, and green rice flour jelly. I sat at a plastic table next to a family of 4, parents, grandparents, 2 kids, all sharing plates, all laughing, all completely unbothered by the chaos around them. And I thought, this is the real economy of a city. Not the skyscrapers. Not the GDP reports. It's this. It's the 10,000 vendors keeping millions of people fed, connected, and together. At midnight, I had my final meal. Mamak's stall Roti Canai with dal curry and a cup of pulled tea called Teh Tarik. The Mamak stall is an institution in Malaysia, open 24 hours, owned almost universally by Tamil Muslim communities who have built an entire culinary identity inside the city. The Roti Canai was crispy on the outside, soft and layered inside, and the dal was earthy and warm and perfect. And as I sat there at midnight, exhausted, slightly overwhelmed, unbelievably full, I felt something I didn't expect. I felt grateful. 24 hours. 14 meals. Roughly 4,200 calories. 5 moments of pure joy. 1 bathroom emergency. And a completely new understanding of what food actually means when it belongs to the street, to the people, to the culture. Here's what this challenge taught me. Street food isn't cheap food. It isn't unsafe food. It's generational knowledge served on a styrofoam plate. It's 31 years of waking up at 3 a.m. because the sambal has to be right. It's an engineering graduate choosing his father's charcoal grill over a corporate desk. It's a stranger handing you a free cup of Rojak because you look like you need it. If you've ever doubted whether street food is worth it, whether it's safe, whether it's real cuisine, whether it tells you anything about a place, I'm here to tell you, it tells you everything. So here's the question I want to leave with you. If you had 24 hours in any city in the world eating only street food, which city would you choose, and what would your first meal be? Drop your answer in the comments. I read every single one, and I'm genuinely curious, because your answer might just become my next 24-hour challenge. If this video opened your eyes to something you didn't expect, hit that like button. It helps more people find stories like this. And if you haven't subscribed yet, join us, because we go deep into the places, the food, and the people that most travel content completely misses. Comment street food below if you're already planning your own challenge. I'll see you in the next one.